Hi everyone. So the theme for this week is actually African business and innovation. In as much as the housemates actually lost their wager, so unfortunate, but they still did a good job, and I was still going to come and talk about it because that is my job description. Okay, they had about 5 categories of business entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, right? That came to pitch their business plan or their business strategy to investors. So when we talk of investors, we're talking of all those who use who. In fact, there's the Emelu replica in Ozi. Watch to the end of this video so that you understand why I'm laughing. Okay, so the first tip entrepreneurs that came were fashion designers. They were pitching all sort of AI technologies that would even make you convert one cloth for different occasions or different purposes. So which means when you wear one cloth to work, you can convert it to a party wear, you can convert it to a wedding wear, so you don't need to start rushing home to go and change and all of that. And then they have this AI innovation. Now this AI thing, they have this AI innovation that will even take your measurements. So they are advancing in technology that the tailor or the fashion designer doesn't even need to use tape measure and measure you. It will just be like a machine. You just come like, it was awesome. So they were basically a fashion clothing line that involved Sofa and then the twins Wani and Hani as the investors, as the entrepreneurs pitching to get investors to invest in their business. So the second one, Dr. TJ. Hey, Laba Laba. Laba Laba was his own, like he said. Laba Laba, of course, is in Yoruba, and it has to do with flying, So basically, his own method or his own technology is sort of like a drone. Now, I've never seen that kind of size of drone before. That drone is big. And his own drone or his own technology has to do with one of our problems or two of our problems, major problems in Africa: malaria and cholera. And he said it also involves artificial light. Yeah, so he is here as a doctor. He has done a lot of research in order to combat malaria in Africa and also cholera in Africa. So basically his drone will be going around and doing the needful. I pray this their technology will come through. Let us kick malaria out of Africa forever. Okay, so the third entrepreneur was Onyeka. Onyeka had this AI that would dictate mental health. She called it Cora, and it has to do with like a headset ish, where you put a headset even if you're in panic mood, like her own wasn't so clear to me, honestly speaking, but it just had to do with mental health in case of someone that is in distress as well. I think she also said maybe a child is in distress, they can dictate, the machine can actually dictate. It just has to do with mental health. Yeka in that house has been queen of mental health. I don't know, maybe she goes out, she should have a movement that has to do with mental health. But meanwhile, it's important. I'm not talking down on mental health, is important like that. Yeah. But so the next entrepreneur was Suge Technology. It has to do with water purifier, which that thing was going to come to pass, like his own device too. He had his own equipment where he could purify water, and the fact that it's electricity independent, which is, in fact, I wish it comes through, that dream come true. Is electricity independent. It's actually solar based, solar reliance, and you can also use batteries, which for me, I didn't do that fast, because just try to make it more let's say, how do I even put it? Like, you should do the solar is okay, like making it something more of organic, like, not, that kind of thing. The solar was okay for me, so him adding the battery was, by the way, it wasn't bad though, but like, to me personally, like, if I was to judge in that kind of thing, I was like, no, the batteries were not necessarily the solar. And he said if it's fully charged, that was why for me I was like, why the battery? Now he said if it's fully charged, that they can purify water to infinity, meaning they can purify a huge amount of time, because the investors that wanted to invest were asking him like how much quantity of water. He said uncountable. Okay, as if the water wasn't even countable in the first place, but he was trying to say that a huge amount, as long as it is fully charged with solar. Now, so you send that into the note for us, I beg. Then, the fifth one had to do with Chizoba. Let me tell you guys something. I did education. I studied education at the university. So when Chizoba was talking about child psychology, child development stages in education and all of that, it sort of hit home. Like, it brought back memories. I don't know if Chizoba has a background in education. She really hit the point. That was what it was. And she was inclusive. What do I mean by inclusive? She added kids that were impaired. She added kids that had autism issues. She gave room for, I think Chizoba has a background in education, because for her to remember special kids, special ability, special needs children, it was huge to me, honestly. Like, in as much as it was just a tax and all of that, but I don't know, it just got this better part of me, probably because I fully understand what she is talking about. Yes, I fully do understand what she was talking about, and she was talking about child education in Nigeria. Honestly, if you come from a place where you have been to serious typical rural areas and you see the structure of education for kids, it's not encouraging. Like, I wish these their things were real. So Chizoba, at some point, she was, and they saved the last for the best. As far as I'm concerned, Chizoba was the best, right? And it was good that he saved the less for the best, because he gave us a certain, I don't know, it just came up with this reality check. I don't know if you know what I'm trying to say to you. So last after the whole thing, the investors and the investors were four of them. There was Ozzy, the investor, which is the replica of Tony Emelu. Then there was Ben. Help Ben. Then there is Anita. If you see Anita, she was giving me Okonjuala vibes. Then Sean, which just came off as an investor that has money, that is looking for who to invest in. And so they were also asking for percentages. Another thing that I wanted to add. Now, like TJ's Ozzy offered TJ the money, and there was something again. The monies that these entrepreneurs were asking for were in dollars, which, honestly speaking, when they were even talking about it, I was like, but wait, this is a Nigerian show. Why are you guys talking about dollars? And honestly, when Big Brother, coincidentally, when Big Brother was criticizing them, he spoke about that dollar thing. He asked them why in dollars, right? So basically, Sean was the investor that decided to invest in fashion, where there was Tofa and Wani. Then TJ had an investor. Ozzy was the first person that dropped him a proposal, and he chose to go with Anita, because Anita decided to double what Ozzy wanted, because Ozzy was offering a fee but for a higher percentage that TJ said wouldn't be real. And Anita in the panel happened to also be a biochemist, so she was like working with TJ in her lab and all of that. We make things very easy with her other team, so involvement, right? Then we had Chizoba, which was Ben, that proposed his own, that bought into her own innovation. Then guess who bought into Onyeka's innovation? That was why I was laughing at the beginning. I say watch the end. It was Ozzy that bought into Onyeka's business innovation. So who didn't get any investor to invest in his innovation was Suj. And the reason why okay, Anita wanted to offer, but she didn't feel that it was there for her to invest. Like, she didn't see it like something that had the kind of prospects that she would want to buy into. Ozzy tried buying into it, but shrink Suj. Like he said, shoes technology was sort of too high, that he should shrink it, because the money he was demanding was very high. I think the money Suj was demanding, I don't know, was in dollars, and it was very high. So Ozzy wanted him to shrink it, and the guy was like, no, that was his baby, and he was not going to do any of that. He rather walks away and comes back to fight another day. Look, I wish all of these things were real, but then they are what they are. At the end of the day, they still lost their wager. the heads of house, Sean and Victoria, were having a rough moment. Sean just went upstairs. He just threw out some few words of encouragement. Victoria was just seated. She had Nelly holding her, like, they were just, the ladies, of course, mostly were the ones that rallied around Victoria. And that brings us to the end. And the house, of course, life keeps going. So hope to see you in another video.